Good day, my dear students. You are welcome to class again. I am Ebenezer Aina, and before us today, we have Nigeria communication satellite to talk about. In our previous classes, I introduced you to Nigerian satellites, where we talk about its work, that is NigComSat 1. Today, we are talking about NigComSat 1. That is the short form of Nigeria Communication Satellite. What is the goal of this video? The goal of this video is that by the time you finish watching this video, you should be able to briefly explain the history of NigComSat 1. You must, very, very important, be able to state the uses of NigComSat 1 and how is Nigeria Communication Satellite applies to you as a student. You can see the picture of NigComSat 1 in space and how it orbits around the earth, servicing Nigeria as a country. You can see Nigeria logo on it. That makes it colorful, showing that it belongs to Nigeria. Let's talk about NigComSat 1. NigComSat 1 is the short form of Nigeria Communication Satellites, and it was Nigeria's first communication satellite. In fact, NigComSat 1 was the first Africa geosynchronous communication satellite. It was launched on 13th May 2007, as you can see. Its position in space is at 42.5 degrees east. That is where you have it there. This NigComSat 1 was very, very helpful for Nigeria to develop and boost information and communication technology, ICT, for us. But the weight of the satellite is about 5,150 kg. That's the weight of the satellite. And it was expected to live for about 15 years before it stopped working. But unfortunately, as you know, what human does sometimes fail. It failed to work and stopped working in 11th November 2008 due to power anomaly in the solar array. This solar array stopped working, and that caused that Nigeria need to launch another one. That's why we launched NigComSat 1 app. That was launched in 2011. What are the uses of this NigComSat 1? A lot, a very lot, that makes life interesting for us. One of them is telepresence. Telepresence. What is telepresence? Telepresence means to be present by electronic means in order to render services. Telepresence includes teleeducation, about distance learning. It includes telemedicine, distant caring for illness and disease, e-government, that's electronic government. From the picture here, you can see the first picture here. So some people that are sitting down, they are holding meeting, business meeting. You can see some pictures, people in the blue background color are listening, holding meeting using NigComSat 1. That's what NigComSat 1 can help us to achieve in Nigeria as a country. The second picture, you can see a teacher like myself is teaching using electronics, telepresence. He is not physically there, but he's teaching his students. Likewise, the third picture explains a medical doctor that is explaining to others what they need to do in order to perform an operation in a theater room. The importance of telepresence. That's one good use of NigComSat 1 for us in Nigeria. All of these resources person are not physically present, but they carry out a service which make it interesting. Use of this telecommunication. Yes, I know you've been interested in that. Telecommunication is the use of telephones, mobile phone, etc. And this goes a long way to reduce the cost of making calls within and outside the country. It brings people close together. Before the essence of NigComSat 1, I remember how people queue long at telephone stations, but that has been eliminated. Almost everybody now owns his own telephone. You own yours. You can see the young man in the picture making calls and he's happy about it. Another thing is video conferencing. You can see the young girl is chatting with a friend using telephone, using video calls. You can talk to the other person as if the other person is right in our front. NigComSat 1 make that possible for us in Nigeria. So anytime you are making calls or anytime you are engaging in video calls, remember that you are using NigComSat 1. Broadcasting. At our various homes, we have something like this, which is a dish receiving a signal from a satellite and sending it to our television. I think we can see. But the satellite is up there. There will be a transmitter somewhere. That is what NigComSat for us. Is helping the television stations to send links to this satellite. Then we receive it and watch television broadcasting. So it involves television broadcasting. Nowadays, almost all the television stations we have around us, they have their station. You can watch them using the dish and the decoder at the comfort of your home. Thanks to NigComSat. Let's use of it. Internet and multimedia. The internet nowadays has become part of us in Nigeria. We can't do without it. We need it. As I'm talking to you, you downloaded or get used to this video because of internet. That makes it possible. Without this internet, that will not be possible. As you are there, you can control electronic gadget at home. Imagine you switch it on or you switch it off. You can control your car. Know whereabouts of the car. Internet and multimedia make that possible for us. That's some of the important, interesting uses of NigComSat 1 for us in Nigeria. Okay, I know you enjoy watching this video. Can you briefly say something about the following? Can you briefly explain the history of NigComSat 1? Can you state the uses of these satellites that we mentioned above, this NigComSat 1? What is it used for? Okay. Then, how do you use this satellite in your own day-to-day activities? In your personal life, how are you using this NigComSat 1? A little bit, you see, Nigerian communication satellite, NigCom1, Sat1, and 1R. These two satellites are used to improve the living standard of Nigerian citizens. It makes life easier for us. We use it in making calls to other nations within the country and outside the country. It helps us in connecting rural areas. Rural areas. If you want to read further, you can read these textbooks, which will give you more points about NigComSat 1. You can see the two pictures. Very interesting. Reading is life. You don't have to be afraid of reading. Take a book and read. It will broaden your perspective, your horizon about the topic we are. I want to thank you for watching this video. See you next time.